Welcome to EPG Pathshala. Myself, Dr. P K Bhattacharya, Fellow Knowledge Management Division, TERI, will tell you analyzing performance of the staff today. Performance management is a systematic process through which staffs or the library staffs are normally assessed by the supervisors. Now, in the performance management, there are performance management systems, there are processes, and how best those people will be trained so that they can achieve their objective quite easily will be taught in this particular module. We will also touch upon the annualized performance appraisal systems, counseling methods, feedback systems, and how best staff can be achieving their objectives. So these are some tools will be taught in this particular module. Objective of this module will be analyzing the performance management system, set targets for future performance development, clarity on performance counseling, review past performance, help develop individual for further trainings, audit and skill development within an organization, identifying potential of employees, and clarity on performance management appraisal system. Performance management system is an efficient systematic evaluation and assessment of employees by supervisor. A comprehensive evaluative guidelines are normally prepared for developing JD, that is job description of a professional, proving technological expertise, making holistic performance assessment of employees, and taking their appraisal. Performance appraisal of staff is done through recognition, salary increment, and several of their benefits. Performance management can be done through different avenues. This starts first from setting performance goals. Now, performance goals are exactly what organization goals are. It has to align with the organization goals through which when an individual performs better, so he not only achieve his own goals but also achieve the organization goal. Next comes delegation responsibilities. Now, when there is a goal is set up, so supervisor normally delegates the duty to their subordinate staff and they need to perform better so that their responsibilities are well appreciated and fulfilled. Now for this thing, what we need sometimes when people do not have enough knowledge or enough expertise in the system, you need to coach them. Coaching is an important component and which ultimately motivate them and recognize them as one of the best individual in the organization. So once the motivation step gets over, evaluation of performance comes. Evaluating can be done through different modes using Likert scale or many other mechanisms through which each of the duty or the skill set of an individual is normally taken care of. After evaluation, if we feel that there is some difficulties are there in the performance of the staff, so we need to plan again for their career development. This means that they need to go on training of some of or the other skill development process. So once this cycle is complete, we can say that this performance management system is fully operational and performing well. Performance management has several models. So today I will tell you one of the particular model which is most popular, that is CLAP model. CLAP means competency, leadership, appraisal, and performance planning model. Now in the competency model, basically here we identify importance of a individual by understanding and assessing their skill sets. For example, in library science, when we think of any competency, the person may have information service development as a competency. He may be important for digital library development for the organization. He could be a book processing or book acquisition expert. So these are their competencies. So identify such competencies and providing them that kind of job to accomplish is an important step in CLAP model. Next is leadership development. Now in library, what we feel that each of these activities is not an individualistic activity, rather a team is involved. Now when a team is involved, somebody of that team has to play a leadership role. So leadership development is important. Leadership development courses may be taught to these people and so on. Now once leadership development process is done, performance appraisal starts. That is basically taken by the supervisor and in the 360-degree performance appraisal method by the subordinates as well as the peer people as well. In the appraisal process, we find out the lacuna of a person, the strength and weakness of a person, and also try to find out how best and what best he will be able to do in future if we are basically asking him to perform something. Then the next step is performance planning and goal setting. Now when a new person joins, based on his activities or based on his abilities, we fix up some goal and we fix up the performance planning metrics for this person. So this is how CLAP model works. What is performance appraisal? Now, performance appraisal mostly are a individualistic approach and it is measured in Likert scale. Likert scale means it's a 1 to 5 point scale where performance objectives are measured when break into several small components. So what it actually measures? It measures the review of past performance, how he performed in the last activities performed, assessing its training needs, if there is any need of a person to be fulfilled so that he can develop further, skill development process, whether that person should undergo any skill development process or not, understand their training needs further, and then set targets for this person so that your future performance can be find out. Potential of the person is assessed, and if we found that there is a potential gap, means skill gap is there, so capability gaps to be diminished so that he is a good professional for or as an asset for the company. Key performance areas for library staff could be task analysis, means here we will be analyzing each and every activity that library professional is basically accomplishing. Leadership role, how he is playing a leadership role in accomplishing a joint activity. Team plans. Planning is the most important stage for any library activity. So how the team is performing and planning. Goal setting exercise. Once team plans, so there has to be, the plan has to be distributed into several goals and small achievements to be met. So therefore goal setting is an important criteria. Identify knowledge resource to be developed and knowledge resource to be procured for the library's better development of library service. Identifying service to offer for users and what kind of user you are basically having in future so that new service can be developed for user. Effectiveness of that service can be measured. The most important is time management and meeting deadlines. Once you are in the right track to develop new service, so you have to find out how you will spend and how much time you will spend in developing this service, and that is how time management comes so that you meet your deadline, because no user like to get delayed service. The another important step in this is in KRA is out of the box activities. Here, the library professional will start thinking about new services, what can be provided to users, because users have regularly coming up with new demands. Performance management types are of many types. So here I am, giving you 9 such types, of which 360-degree feedback is the most popular and recently, taken. Critical incident method is like, when there is a critical incident happening, how the performance of that person, fluctuated, that you can measure. You can give weightage to each of the activity he performed. You can measure that performance in comparison with another perform. In the corporate sector, graphic rating scales are normally followed, performance ranking method, and there are so many such methods. In 360-degree feedback system, that is normally done by the HR department of any organization, what we do, that we ask appraisee to review his supervisor, as well as supervisor is anyway reviewing the appraisee. Besides this, the peers, that's the colleague of that person, is also reviewing his or her own activities. So hereby the chance of getting a biased feedback is minimized. So that is why 360-degree feedback is taking a major uprise today. So benefit of 360-degree feedback is team development, because anyway a team is assessing you, so that is how bondage between the team develops. Judgmental error of a single person as supervisor are eliminated. Understand each employee's strength, weakness much better, because here you are getting that feedback from your own colleagues as well. Feedback from supervisor peers helps in about reporting the activity of the staff. People participation in the appraisal system, major improvement is possible, because when a person working side by side telling you the work you are doing inferior to somebody else, so that motivates you to do or perform better. Workflow can be established by them. More accountability to team as well as to the individual. Comprehensive training need assessment can be found out quite easily, because when a team is performing and realizing their own drawbacks, so training needs becomes easy to assess, and faster professional growth is possible, because through each and every activity you are basically evaluating every day your own self, and you are finding out a professional growth system. Performance appraisal process has several steps. First is performance planning, that I have already told you before. Then performance reviewing. So this is done by the team or the supervisor, and how it is progressing and up to which level it should have been by the time, and up to which level you are basically going to have within next 6 months or 3 months. So that kind of deadline based evaluation can also be done. Performance improvement can be planned in advance. Compensation and rewarding, not only in terms of good performance in the terms of salary, but also in terms of their how they are recognized within the organization. Then an appraisee's potential can be assessed quite easily, and also can tell them what is the corrective strategy should have been. Performance evaluation milestone includes no tolerance for non-performance. Periodic performance measurement every monthly or quarterly basis. Every action is subjected to be a measurable deliverables, because when you are putting everything in Likert scale, you need to know that particular performance should have a quantifiable measurement system. Salary and increment should be linked with the good performance. Unbiased performance judgment can be achieved through 360-degree feedback system. And lastly, every staff should complete the performance management system responsibly. Planning for success for a person should be, first of all, he should plan what I can achieve, and what should be my standard of quality of product output I will be providing, what competencies are needed, and how development can be done so that I can achieve that particular objective quite easily. So these are the planning stages one should have. Once that place is through, so the next is progress review. How I am doing. So basically, how I am doing can be achieved by one person quite easily if he follows certain rules, such as when I am achieving this, by when it was expected, how can I achieve it much better, and what I should not do, and what kind of change should be there. This kind of progress review can be done by a person for himself. The next step is evaluation. Once you are achieving in the right track, so you have to evaluate yourself. How did I do? How I performed last time? How can I perform better? What should have been my mistakes? And what can I learn from them? So these are the questions one should ask, and accordingly, develop his or her own capabilities. And if there is some mistakes, so he should identify his own training needs and again plan accordingly. So this is a cycle for successful performance. When newcomer joins, so basically every organization put him or her for a orientation. Now orientation gives him a brief understanding of what kind of system he or she is going to be put in, and objective of performance assessment program for a new comers are also included. Best positive energy flow, because when a person understands the nitty-gritties of a system beforehand, it is very easy for him or her to perform better, and positive attitude also comes within. So therefore, better positive energy flow is a plus point when you are putting him in a rigorous training initially. Internal team bondage development also takes place, because your team member teaches you at the very beginning. So thereby you are developing bondage, or you can also have a mentor buddy system, so through which you can develop your own assessment about a team, and you can motivate yourself by them. PMS process to be followed by each and every newcomer, and as well as the existing professionals. So that is a very plus point one has to remember. Monthly self appraisal, or by the supervisor, or annual self appraisal. So that is a policy of the organization one should follow. So there are certain differences between the performance appraisal system and the performance management system. While performance appraisal system is a more of an individualistic thing, performance management system is an enterprise-wide. In performance appraisal system, we emphasize on individuals' evaluation, rewarding and recognition is critical in this. Then monitoring by HR for each and every individual is being done, and then focus on identifying development needs of a person, and accordingly the entire process of this appraisal system is linked to promotion, salary development, then transfer, training, etc., etc. On the other hand, performance management system basically is a holistic development of the system which is followed in the organization. It emphasizes on performance planning, analysis, appraisal, besides giving reward and recognition system. These are also taken center stage, and then HR is basically designed this system, and monitoring very closely for departments as well as for entire organization. And appraisal every year helps HR as well as the supervisor to understand the performance of this system. Key benefits of performance management system is basically it overall improve the performance, it deliver cost effectiveness, contributes productivity, saves time, overcome communication barriers, in an organization, because many a times what happens, the supervisor do not share a good relation with the subordinates, and thereby he is sidelined or she is sidelined from the activities. So if there is a performance measurement matrix is available and the system is up and running, so the employee has opportunity to communicate to the management, and so that this communication problem can be sorted out and job satisfaction returns to his or her activity. This also reduces conflicts, and there are several ways one can measure the carries of each and every individual. Self review and assessment is also an added opportunity of a performance management system. Now, what are the problems we normally face in performance appraisal? First is leniency error. Means here, even if a non-performer gets benefit of doubt because his or her, the supervisor is a very lenient person, and let him or her go with that low performance. So that is one area of problem of a performance appraisal. The next is low appraiser motivation. Appraiser who is appraising you basically do not motivated enough to appraise you. So he or she thinks that this is just another activity to be performed, or this is an additional burden to me, and that is why he do not put emphasis on the activity itself. So that is how it is a low motivation for a person. Halo effect and horn effect is two important factor. Halo effect means if I like anybody, so I will give him very good ranking. His performance is very good. I will even not looking into the error or faults he or she is committing. Horn effect on the other hand, even if a good performance is there, I will simply snub it. So this is how hollow and horn effect perform. Similarity error is another. So there are 5 people working, example I am telling you, there are 5 people working, and they are doing similar job. So therefore, if a person is doing wrong, so all of them are doing wrong. So that is my assessment. So that is how similarity error comes. Then central tendency. This is another problem in an appraisal system, because nobody wants to give any extreme marks. Means neither you give a outstanding marks, neither you give him a or her a low marks, because in case of outstanding you need to put reason, and vice versa as well. So that is why people want to get away with giving some central marks in the Likert scale. So these are few problems which normally crept into the performance appraisal system. Any quality performance appraisal system should take care into these activities as well. Performance counseling is the one important thing. Once you identifying there is a problem of a person, you should logically provide feedback, and you should counsel that person so that he can perform better next time. So basically the objective of counseling is not to show downgrade, not to show your anguish to a person, rather it should be conquer weakness of that person, strategic and improve thought process should be incorporated to that person, and basically it helps a person to share his or her own difficulties while performing this activity. Many a time people normally do not share due to many reasons. Sometimes due to non-availability of a good behavior from the supervisor. Sometimes supervisor is inaccessible. Sometimes he feel or she feels shy, or maybe in fear. So they do not basically share their heart out, and that is the reason counseling is an important part, I believe. So that was it. I thank all of you for your patience, understanding, and hope this way if a library perform to assess their performance appraisal system, definitely library quality and productivity will improve further. Thank you.